Hey, what's up, TikTok? Hey, Jennifer. Thank y'all for joining. We're going to actually recap one of the episodes that ran on Say Something with Chere. So we're over here on Facebook and YouTube as well with Nicole, and we are on TikTok. So I am the host of Say Something with Chere, and this is my new series of Say Something Sundays, where I'm going to bring the guest, one of my guests that's been on the show, to actually reshare their story, give more concept, more details, or even like answer some of the questions. Nicole is one of my guests who's been on the show, and she talked about being molested at a young age, at the age of 5, and her being a big actress. People who were, the response was just overwhelming. So, first of all, I'm just telling you all what this live is about. So we decided to start going live with our guests so that we can get more details as to what happened on that episode, and then actually open up the floor for people who may be going through or want to share their stories. So today we have Nicole Crump. And Nicole, I want to first say thank you so much for trusting me and my platform with this story, something that is so precious to you. And even reliving that moment and just opening up, sharing what happened, how you forgave, and then how you healed, and what it's done to you in your life. And so TikTok, thank you guys for jumping in. Please feel free, drop your questions, drop any type of motivation, inspiration to Nicole. Nicole Crump, the Nicole Crump, is my dear friend, but she's also everybody's favorite on BMF. She is Estelle on BMF, and she is also Dr. Solace. Is it Solace or Solace? Dr. Solace on Tyler Perry's The Tima. And she's got many other films that she's done out there. But what people don't know behind that camera, behind that lens, is that Nicole is also a mom, and she has also endured a lot of things. And so the episode that we did was how she survived molestation, and she forgave and she healed. And so, Nicole, do you want to say anything before I jump in, or you want me to just go back and relive? I know the comments, the DMs were very, very overwhelming. And so maybe there's something that you want to touch on before I jump right back into this interview.
I just, for one, just like thank everybody for the questions, the comments, the support, and just the motivation to keep striving, keep healing. I'm open for DMs, inbox, messages if anybody have any questions about anything and how you can kind of navigate through that trauma.
So this interview, I will have to say, I did not have a consultation with Nicole prior to her coming on. Most of my guests, I actually want to hear their story and get to know them a little bit. But in this season, I did not sit down with my guests. And as I was interviewing Nicole about her acting career and where it was going and what she had endured, she dropped this on me. And I gotta tell y'all, this was one of the interviews that I wish I could go back and redo, because I immediately felt all type of emotions of anger, of guilt, and feeling like I'm the friend. How didn't I know? How did she not say? I felt all of that in that interview. And the interview is on YouTube, you all, for anyone who wants to go back and look at the entire episode. I just also posted a clip right before we went live. But in that interview, you said to me 2 things. One, that you had already attempted suicide. And even recent within the months of that interview. And then 2, you mentioned that you have been molested from the age of 5 to 11 by your mother's boyfriend. And when you told your mom, she didn't believe you. And let's start right there. What made you decide to tell her from 5 to 11? That was a long time to have to endure that. What made you decide to tell your mother? And why didn't you tell anybody prior to that?
What made me tell was just enduring the pain, continuing to endure the pain. Again, I don't know, for the people who hadn't seen the interview, when I was 5, growing up, your parents tell you, if anybody touch you, you tell, you let me know, and my mom used to always tell me and my sister that, always. And so the first night that her boyfriend came into my room, I was like, telling. And he was like, if you tell her, I'm gonna kill you and her. So that made me so scared because I said, growing up and seeing that he abused my mom, seeing the physical fight, seeing I don't know where he got acid from. I remember one time he had some acid he was gonna pour on her, like, and like, I guess, diminish her flesh,
Yeah.
So I was scared. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to die.
Right.
I don't want my mama to die. So I'm gonna bear this. I'm gonna hold this because I don't want to die. I'm fine. I mean, I don't want to die.
And you had siblings, though. Did you have siblings in the house with you?
Siblings. Yes. I have a sister, a baby sister, and two older brothers. Now, my older brothers, we're all like 2 years apart. So I have two brothers that are 2 years older. One is 2 years older than me. One is 4 years older than me. Now, they were in their room when this happened. It happened overnight. Again, my mom worked at a nursing home. She did like nursing work. So she was always, when we grew up, she would always have these overnight jobs. And I would hate that she had these overnight jobs because I'm like, I already knew what was going to happen when she left. I already knew when 8 o'clock came, when whatever shift she was working, it was going to be hell to pay when she left. So telling my sister was real loud growing up. She was very, very loud, very, we used to call her the Texas tornado because her temper was just like.
Is she older or younger?
No, she's younger. She's 2 years younger. And she experienced him coming into the room. She didn't know what he was doing, though. She just being, at the time, she was 3, and I'm 5, 6, 7. She's 2 years behind me. So when he started, she says, I see him coming in the room and kneeling beside her bed. I just didn't know what he was doing. I know he was supposed to be in there, but I didn't know what he was, what he was doing in there.
My God. So I want, at 5 years old, so how you decided to tell your mom when you were 11?
Yes.
At any point, did a sibling, an uncle, an aunt, at any point, did anyone ever look at you and say, like, are you okay? Or did anyone ever ask you, is someone touching you?
My mom used to ask, but again, if I told, I felt like he was gonna kill me. I remember going to school and this was about 3rd grade. I remember my teacher. It was at Tidwell Elementary in Houston, Texas. My teacher name was Miss Massey. And I fainted because I was exhausted. I was exhausted. She called, so they took me to the nurse, got me to the nurse. And they called my mom and told my mom, she fainted in class. She's not doing well. So my grandparents came to get me. And I wanted so bad to tell my grandmother and my grandfather. Now, my grandmother, my mom's mom, she used to always tell my mom, you need to get him from around your kids. He's just not, she knew something was off. She knew it. So I would do things like get in trouble to go to my grandparents' house, get in trouble to go to one of my aunt's house because I felt safe there. I felt safe. I felt like he couldn't harm me. He was an alcoholic. He also did a lot of drugs. And I remember just my mom just like their relationship was just, it was just a lot of violence. It was a lot of violence. It was a lot of fighting, a lot of physical fight. Now he was a strong man.
Yeah, I'm sure at 5 years old this way.
My mom, she used to give it to him too. Like she used to give it to him too, you know. But it was just the fear of not wanting to die. And I remember going back to 1st grade. I didn't talk in 1st grade. I did not talk. You couldn't get me to talk. If I have any family members that are watching, they know when I was younger, you couldn't get me to just talk. You know, you couldn't get me to, especially in school. When around my family, that's different. But in school, all that stuff, you couldn't get me to talk. I actually was held back in first grade at Tidwell Elementary for not talking.
For
they
not
thought something
talking.
was wrong. Wow. But that's when it started. It started. The sexual abuse started before then. I'll tell you a snippet of what my mom told me she experienced. We were living in Third Ward, Texas. And her story to me was, you were just, you was bad. Because when you was like 2, I remember this man been around since I was a toddler. Okay. She said she walked into the living room and I was laying on his lap, right? So he's sitting there. I'm laying on his lap, but my back is on his thighs. And my private area is bleeding. He told my mom that I broke a piece of glass and I inserted the glass into my vagina. So I was like, well, what kid would do that?
Right.
What kid would do that? But being that what he did when I was 5, 6, 7, all of those years, it just made me think back to, that's probably when it started then. Yeah. I don't see a toddler. Why would I break up? Because if I broke glass, if my hands weren't bleeding.
Yeah, you're already cut and hurt.
I'm already cut. So why would that,
And your mom believed him? Well, I mean, obviously she was scared of him too, to a certain degree, because she was experiencing abuse as well. But when it comes to your child, you would think, right, that the mama bear would rise up. But from what it sounds like, she believed what he said and just brushed it off.
Just ran with it. And I remember vaguely the home that she told me that happened in. I remember vaguely, but when I was 5, I remember that's when he started coming in my room. I remember Oprah did this interview with Michael Jackson, and she went to his home, and he was, taking her around his compound and Neverland, whatever they call it, and I was molested during that interview.
Oh,
so
you mean the act was happening as she was doing that interview?
She was doing that interview, so that's one date that I remember.
Jesus.
We were in my mom's room, me and my siblings, and we were watching television, sitting on her floor. And so he came into the room as though he was trying to play with us. So he started tickling everybody. He tickling my sister, he tickling my brothers, And so I was like, stop, because he wasn't tickling me. He was groping me between my legs. So I'm like, stop, don't touch me, don't touch me. And so one of my brothers, I remember, he looked at me and he was like, he's just tickling us. Why you being mean? But again, they were kids. They didn't really understand, what he was doing, but I knew what he was doing. And it just didn't stop with the molestation and the sexual abuse. He abused me emotionally, mentally. I don't do a lot of animals. I love dogs. If it ain't a dog, I don't really mess with it. And I remember one day he used to hunt and fish. And so he came home and he kept calling me to come into the kitchen, and I didn't want to go into the kitchen. I was like, why do I come into the kitchen?
Right.
So he kept calling. He was like, Winnie, that's my nickname. Winnie, come here. So when I get to the kitchen, I stood in the kitchen doorway and I'm standing there and he's like, close your eyes. And I'm like, he's like, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes. He told me to hold out my hand. I held out my hand. He put some type of, I don't know what animal foot, I don't know, it was a bloody foot that he placed in my hand, And I just I screamed and I took off running and I went and ran and I hid under my bed. don't necessarily understand why he would think that that was funny, or I don't know. It was torture.
Yeah.
You know, it was torture to a degree. And my mom, she still didn't know then that about this time when he did that, I was about 7 or 8, you know, around that time. But it just still baffles me as to why I had to endure.
Why you had, why he chose you of all the siblings in the house? Why it was you that he chose? I want to ask you, Nicole, when you brought up the teacher, also, during that time, because I always wonder when I meet someone and I hear these stories, right? And I'm blessed that I'm trusted for someone to actually share these stories. You think about as a child, your children have annual checkups, right? We're taking our kids to the doctors. And I know for my daughter and your daughters, they check them for that stuff. So when you look at the line of people who missed this as a child, I mean, like, you do recall going to the doctor, right? Your mom kept up with your doctor's appointments.
No, I don't recall ever going and having a checkup as a kid. I remember maybe going to the dentist, you know, maybe going to get, you know, our immunization shots for school. But to say that I've been to a doctor when I was younger to get a physical checkup to make sure that, you know, I'm okay, or make sure something, we never had that, you know, we didn't have that. It's not that I think my mom was a bad mom, that she couldn't, because from my understanding, we were on Medicaid and food stamps, you know, we were on, you know, that type of stuff. But I just don't remember ever going and getting checked out in that regard.
So when you decided to tell your mom, because you were threatened, your life contains some things that may be uncomfortable and restricted. When you decided to tell your mom, when you decided to tell your mother what was going on in the house, what was her response to you? For those on TikTok watching, we're talking about Nicole. This is actress Nicole Crump, who is sharing her story again about being essayed as a child from the age of 5. And her mother did not believe her. So we did an interview on the show, and it has been streaming on YouTube. Feel free to watch the full episode. And I just posted a clip right before we went live. Look on my page, on Nicole's page. And so here we just go more in depth because she is an actress, highly sought after. The response has been overwhelming. So we're just tapping in more to talk more about it, and for her to be able to share, you know, what she wasn't able to share in the interview. So what did your mom say when you decided to tell her?
My mom, she was at work. And at this time in life, she was working from like 12 to 12, midnight to noon. And it was summertime. By this time, I had, you know, started, you know, my young lady, as we call it. And I didn't know what it was because I just didn't have the knowledge of knowing that, you know, what happens to your body as a woman. So
because you're 11, this is early for you.
Well, going back, I was 9.
Okay, you were 9. Okay.
So now I'm 11, right? And I remember it was summertime. And he came into my room. And by this time, I got smart. I got real smart. I started sleeping with multiple layers of clothes on.
Wow.
So I would have on, I remember this day, I had on my undergarments. I had on some flower shorts. I had on some denim shorts. And I had on some denim jeans. Because I'm like, you're not getting to me. So I was determined. I was like, if he do it again, I'm telling. I don't care if I die. I don't care. So summertime, we're on the east side of Houston at this time. We're in the Uvalde, like forgot what area they call it, the Sheldon kind of area. And he came into the room, and I just started he started, dibbling at my pants, trying to unbutton them. And I started getting loud. And I was like, get out of my room. Get out of my room. Get out. Mm-hmm. So my sister started to wake up. And he left out. I went into my brother's room and I woke my older brother up, my brother Chris. I woke Chris up. Mm-hmm. And he was like, give me a second, let me get dressed. So he came into the room and he was like, what's going on? And I blurted to Chris what was happening and what happened. Mm-hmm. I remember my brother, he was about 15. Mm. He went and he told me and my sister to make sure we put some clothes on, and he was going to take us somewhere. So he ended up taking us to a neighbor. But before he took us to the neighbor, I remember my brother standing in the doorway with this look of like hate on his face. Like he was looking at him like, mm-hmm. like I will, like, like he was ready to just attack him, And so I remember he told my brother something like, you better get the F out of here. And so my brother got me and my sister, and we went across the way to a neighbor's house. Mm-hmm. And we stayed there until my mom got home. When she got home, she wasn't even out the car. I ran into the car, and I just started blurting out everything. Like I started telling her, like from 5 to all the way up into that day. And she had this look of confusion on her face, but she ran in the house. And when she ran in the house, he was upstairs. She ran upstairs, and I could hear him saying, I didn't touch that girl. I didn't touch her. I ain't never touched her. And I just knew my mom was going to just go off. And only thing I could hear her say vividly was, I don't know who to believe. Oh my God. And it's like my heart it's like my heart fell in the floor. It's like something just deflated.
I can imagine. I mean, you're a kid standing there who already's been beaten, traumatized, and then the one person who's supposed to save you is like, I don't know who to. So what was your brother's response to your mom?
My brother, I don't really remember his response to my mom. It was just the moment was so much going on. Mm-hmm. She was up there yelling, and he's saying, what he's saying, and they're arguing, and she's saying she don't know who to believe. She came downstairs and she told me and my siblings to get into the car. Mm. We get into the car, and we go to my grandmother's house. When we got in the car, I just knew, I was like, okay, it's all out now. I'm just gonna tell my grandmother and my grandpa. Mm-hmm. When we get there.
Got two. I'll remove this one. Okay. Nicole, your mic is muted.
Which one?
Okay. StreamYard.
You want me to unmute it? Mm-hmm. Okay. There's an echo.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I need to mute this one. Sorry, y'all. We got some feedback coming in now. Take a minute, Nicole. What you need. Okay. Why the echo came in? I have an echo. Patrick is saying I have echo. Do I still have an echo? Yeah. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm not sure where my echo is coming from. Okay, is my echo gone? No, it's gone?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry about that. You guys go ahead. Go ahead, Nicole.
Okay. So we got into the car. My grandfather, he was my heart. He was he was my heart. He wasn't my mom's father. Uh,
They can't hear you on Facebook, Nicole. Unmute your mic.
can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
So your mom she threatened to. Why am I echoing? So your mom, can you hear me?
It's
Okay,
kind
am I not? Is it distorted? How about now? It's still distorted.
No, I can hear you here through TikTok.
But you didn't hear me on the TikTok. TikTok, we may have to come back to y'all. I don't know why the mic is starting to the enemy act crazy. Y'all meet us on Facebook because I need to pause this live, but we'll come back. We'll come back to TikTok. I'm not sure why I'm getting the echo.
I'm not sure why.
Okay. Sorry about that, Facebook, and I'm sorry, Nicole, that interruption. So when your mom told you that when you guys went in there not to say anything to your grandparents or she was gonna whip you, I mean, at this point, you at a loss. You can't win for losing.
Yeah.
Your brother is trying to take up for you on one hand, and then your mom is up here, and you know that your grandparents I'm gonna have your back, and then here your mom is still telling you to be quiet.
Yeah, and she loved him, and I think I look back at it, and it breaks my heart,
Yeah.
because I know my mom wanted to be loved, you know, and what I didn't get to go into on the last interview was that my mom suffered as well. She went through sexual abuse as well from her biological father, you know. So it was a cycle, it's a cycle. It's I wasn't back when my mom was a kid, so I can only go by what she told me, and what she experienced. And my mom was hurt. People hurt her,
Yeah.
I don't I don't I don't I don't think she knew the totality of the damage it would really do. You people can say, I'll do this and I'll protect you and I'll do, but when it boiled down, I wasn't protected, and that's just real. It's not to make her look like a bad person. It's not to make her, but she was just as broken, you
But when
know.
you talk about grandparents, were these her parents that you were going over that you thought would
This
save you? So this
this
was
was
the
her
same woman who didn't protect your mom.
this was her mom.
Okay. So her
This was
mom
her
didn't
mom.
protect her, but you thought that she would protect you, or you didn't know at the time. So
I
you
didn't
didn't know.
know at the time. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know that had happened to my mom until I was grown. And we had an incident where, um, by this time I was married at the time to my children's father. And so my oldest daughter, was a newborn. She was young. And so my baby sister, was graduating high school. And I always told my mom, because I knew she was still messing with this guy. I knew he would come spend the night at her house. I knew, and my only request, my mom could see my kids. She could be there for my kids, but do not have my children around this man.
Yeah.
That was my only request for her. My sister was graduating high school, and they wanted to take her to the graduation. They wanted to, take Bree
Mhm.
to the graduation. And at that time, I was I was pregnant again. I got my kids are back to back, y'all. Don't judge me.
Hey, you was married.
They
You
back
was
to back.
married.
So my sister was graduating high school, and Bria was she was still a baby. She wasn't even really walking then, but I was pregnant. Oh Jesus. Um, so I took Brie over to the house, and my sister was she had I told my mom that I was on my way back. We had ran some errands or whatever, and I was coming back to get Brie. So when I get there, the guy is there. Like,
Mm-mm.
he's at my mom's house, and he my kid is there, my child is there, my daughter is there, and the only thing I could think of was that he has touched my baby. If you touch me, you touch my baby. Like, and I was so upset with my mom, because I was like, I asked you one thing,
Yeah.
not to put my daughter in harm's way. This is putting her in harm's way. I did not like it. I did not like it. And for that, my mom and we didn't really speak for years. We would, hey, da da da, but just having that, the trust was broke. It had already been broken, but it was broke. It was definitely broken. And so I never really just withheld my children from her, but I was like, you got to get this man out of your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, because if he did it to
Yeah.
me, he'll do it to my daughter.
Yeah.
But in that same token, I'm not gonna let it ride like you. I'm gonna be sitting
Mhm.
in somebody county.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just real. That's just how I felt about it. But all in all, just she was a broken woman. I know she died from heartbreak. And we all want to be loved. We all want to have that tangibility in this realm,
Yeah.
on this side.
Right.
And I I came to a realization, and we've talked, offline about it, like how the healing has started. I'm not
Right.
healed, I'm healing. You
Healing.
know,
Yeah. Process.
it's like you look, for me, I was looking for something in men, that I never got from my father, because my biological father wasn't there. He's still living, but he's never been there. You
Right.
know, um, but then you have the aspect of the trauma from being SA'd,
Yeah.
and but you look for true love, you look for validation, but then in that same token, I'm getting these men who don't know how to love me,
Yeah.
because truly, to be honest with you, I didn't love myself.
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
didn't love myself. And I remember laying in my room one night, Cherie, and we were we weren't rich people. Everybody know we grew
Mhm.
up in the hood. My mom did work, but we were still on Section 8. We were on, food stamps. We were on Medicaid. I remember my mom had, this man still living there. He
Mhm.
wasn't really helping her with the bills. I remember one instant, we lived in a neighborhood called on the east side in the Sea King area.
Mhm.
We had no lights, we had no gas, we had no water. Almost for a year.
What?
We would fill up buckets when it rained outside to clean, to flush the toilets, to take a bath. We did all of that. We didn't have, and I know my mom was looking. I know she was looking for love, because just having a man around, like, she may have felt like that was love, but that wasn't love, because he wasn't doing anything for you or your children.
No.
And I remember laying in the bed one night, and I was like, I said, God, why me?
Mhm.
I said, why me? I didn't understand. I was acting out in school. I guess nobody picked up on it. I got kicked out of school. I got kicked out of middle school. All the middle schools I went to, I was fighting. I got kicked out. I was going to jail. I was we had to an alternative school. I went to, like, I was really acting out. I really, it's no excuse, but I was acting out. And I asked God, I said, I don't understand, why me?
Mhm.
And I felt like a burden to my mom. I felt like a burden to my siblings. Like, it was like an overwhelming feeling of just brokenness, right? And that night, it's like the sky was just dark, but the moon, it was almost like, it wasn't just
Mhm.
the presence of the moon. I literally felt the love of God meet me right where I was. And I didn't understand it until I got grown, until recently. God, in that night, God showed me everything that I'm doing now.
Mm. Wow.
And I felt the love, right? I felt
Mhm.
like, I was like, this ain't, what is this? It's like the room was illuminated with, like, this overwhelming grace, this overwhelming, like, just love. And it took me to the point of me wanting to end my own life about a year or so ago, where I knew that that was the presence of God, because God met me again that night.
Oh wow.
you know so when people say, why me, I used to say, why me? I don't think in life you get to dictate
Mm.
the steps of what was destined for you. It could be. I don't think you get to dictate that. It's how you survive it. It's how you overcome it. I'm not saying that I'm there yet, but I'm healing from
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
thought, black folks, we feel like we too good to go to the doctor sometimes. We feel like we don't need the therapy. And I started taking therapy. I started healing from within. I can look good on the outside and people say, Nicole, you girl, you look, but in the inside, I was broken, I was
Yeah.
torn. And I thought I had healed. I thought, yeah, I forgave my mom. Yeah, I forgave, this man. Um, but I didn't, Cherie. I suppressed it.
Wow.
It was a suppression of, let me just not really think about it. But what I do know is that the trauma that I got from that, it's
Yeah.
certain things, it's subtle things. It's
Yeah.
things like, my mom, she didn't let us sleep with our door closed, me and my sister. To this day, I don't sleep with doors open. I don't sleep with doors open. It's things like that. So I can't say that I healed if I can't
Right.
overcome the small obstacles like that. That may be small to some people, but that's
Right.
big to me. I can't sleep with a closet door open. I can't sleep with a bathroom door open. I can't
Mm.
sleep with a room door open. I have to, you know, I will say this, and I just I did not like Snoop Dogg for a long time.
Why? What's the dog?
I didn't. And I said, Lord, help me with this because this man don't even know me.
Yeah.
I never met him. But the guy who essayed me, my mom's boyfriend, he looked like Snoop Dogg. There are certain fragrances that
See.
I can't bear to smell because they smell Old Spice. I don't like it. I don't like the smell of it.
Yeah.
uh it was me breaking those things down, going to New York. I hated New York and New Jersey because that's where he's from. I don't want to go there because everybody from there are horrible people. I can't think like that. It's
Right.
a healing process, and I'm still growing.
But you were
I'm
introduced to those things. You was introduced to those smells as at a young age and in a terrible environment. So your introduction to the Old Spice or learning about New York, all of that came with trauma. So that's understandable. You mentioned that you were acting out, you were going to jail, nobody paid attention. When you think back, what do you wish that someone would have said, or had noticed? What do you wish that someone would have done for you?
I wish someone would have noticed the pattern of being, you know, this little girl who liked music and who liked, to do hair and makeup. And then you get to a point to where you're shelling off and you want to fight everybody and you want to, you know I've always been a fighter. Let me say that my mom was a fighter.
Yeah,
My,
yeah, I can
you
see
know
that.
but it's the I think more so of school, the failing grades,
Wow.
the the getting kicked out of school. I mean, I remember a point to where I want to say seventh and eighth grade, I got kicked out of a district. I couldn't go to any
Oh,
school
district.
in that district, and then the district found out that I was at another district and they kicked me out. So we had to go back to, I had to go back to this alternative school. The alternative school was a school in East Houston. It was called High Point, and I had to go back to High Point where all of my teachers were police officers.
Yeah.
You know, um, it's just the acting out. I wish people, and that's why I try to pay attention to more to people now, more to children, more to
Mhm.
teens. Why are they acting this way?
Yeah.
Let's get
Good
to the
point.
root of the problem. Don't shun them out as, oh, they bad kids, they this and this. No, what's going on at
Mhm.
home, you know?
So I just heard a girl on YouTube talk, or Facebook, and she was talking about her niece. She's been trying to save her, and I think I sent her to you. But it's funny because one of the things that she said that she was trying to explain to child protective custody in that state was this baby is not even talking anymore. She went from a straight A student to now she's getting F's. And just hearing, your patterns, what you went through, and here this girl is jumping up and down, screaming, trying to get somebody to recognize what is going on in the house with this baby. It just it gives me chills. I don't understand why it takes, or how easy it is for somebody to turn it from am I cracking up?
A little.
I don't understand how easy it is for somebody to turn their head when the child is being abused. It just doesn't make. And I never understood. The more that I
Yeah.
talked to you and other friends, that you were in this for years and never cried for help. It's always a matter of fear. Either one extreme, I didn't want to say anything because my father would have went to jail. He would have killed me. I wouldn't have my dad, right? And then this extreme is like, well, I didn't want. He said he would kill us all, so I didn't want to die. So that I'm just so sorry that you had to go through that. But I'm also grateful that God had his hand on you. He kept you covered. So when you think about this, what would you want people to understand about you beyond this whole situation? Because we see you as the big actress, the bubbly person. I would have never known that you went through this. What do you want people to see beyond this?
I want them to see that there is life and life abundantly above your past, above your trauma. I don't want people to hold on to it. I
Mhm.
want you to flourish. You know what I mean? I want you to know that it wasn't your fault. None of it. And I really want to talk to the men,
Yeah,
because a lot of this happened to men, and they are shunned when they speak on it. Women are hushed too, but
yeah,
men, it happened to men and it happened to little boys more than it may happen to little girls. And the abuser does not have to always be a man, because I know
yeah,
women who are sitting behind bars because of this,
yeah.
because they can't suppress their demons.
Mhm.
I want men to come out more and share their stories on their abuse. Don't hold it in. It doesn't make you weak that you want to talk about it. It's not cool that an older woman touch you.
That part. She
It's
just
not
was sick.
cool. She's a pedo.
Yeah,
Talk about it. Don't be afraid to get into a circle of people who will support you and surround you with love.
yeah.
That's not normal. A woman touching a child, a boy, a girl, it's not normal.
I know.
We villainize a lot of men, for doing that, but women do it as well.
Yeah,
I ain't want my kids didn't really spend the night at people's house, male
yeah.
or female.
We weren't
They
allowed either. My mom didn't play that. We was not allowed to spend the night.
Yeah. Mine. There was a sprinkle of people, if that. Their grandparents, yes.
Yeah.
Their dad's mom and dad, yes. But my children didn't go to. I didn't play
Yeah.
that.
What made you decide to heal out loud, so to speak, instead of trying to heal in silence? What made you decide to open up and talk about it and share the story?
Myself, I wanted to share my story. I didn't want to be silent. I was silenced enough, And I will tell you, Cherie, from the first time I did the show with you,
Mhm.
I had so many people reach out to me women and men that you think, celebrities that
Mm,
that reach out and say, girl, wow, this has happened to me. A lot of us don't want to say nothing because we still got family members that say, why you telling the family business? Why you stop? That's what you need to do. It's people shushing you because they don't want the family demons out. Well, the family got a lot of demons. The family got a lot of skeletons, and people need to talk. I don't care. I'm at a point. I'm 43. You're not gonna tell me what I can and cannot say
yeah.
about what happened to me.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't give a doggone who don't like it, who don't care for it. I had family members when we posted the video. I had family members unfollow me. I don't care. Well, I don't think you should be talking. Yo, yes, I should.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I should. The last time we posted the recap, I had a younger cousin reach out to me, and I didn't know this baby was, I didn't know. We're cousins through her mom, and my mom are like first cousins
Mhm.
to the dad side. So it's my mom's cousin's daughter, but she reached out to me and she said, cuz, the family, our family, some of them are not speaking to her because of it. And it just broke my heart. Because we shouldn't have to be silent over people being pedophiles,
Mhm.
people being predatory. It's heartbreaking.
It's the generational curse, though. It's like they were brought up in what goes on in this house stays in this
Stay
house.
in this house.
And that's why
Yeah.
they never healed. And I do see that our generation is like, no, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to choose to heal, and you don't get to shush me anymore. But they still will come out and condemn you for opening your mouth, for getting your healing. That's really what it comes down to. They're mad
Yeah.
because you're getting your healing and they haven't gotten their healing. And then they act like you're just putting the whole family business out there. No, I'm putting my business out there.
Yeah.
I'm choosing to heal whole as a
Yeah.
person. So for a person who is listening tonight who may be in dealing with the same pain in it right now, what would you say to them? I
You
mean,
are
this may be
enough.
a child.
You are enough. You are worthy of all things good. Never let anybody silence you. I don't care if they say what they gonna do to you. I don't care. Tell it. Because in your telling, you never know who you can help. We go years. I went years without saying anything. Years. And it's been so much other stuff that has happened, Cherie, with involving men
Yeah.
in my family. It's a lot of stuff, but talk and tell. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, I'm gonna do this to you, I'm gonna do this or this, or you scared about, how the family gonna look. No, your breakthrough comes with your freedom. It comes through. Your spirit can't be free if you got a lot of this bondage and hurt and trauma and secrets held up in there. That's what the enemy wants.
Yeah.
That's what
Absolutely.
that's what the enemy wants. He wants you to be silent. He wants you to feel like, oh, your voice is not big enough. No, yes, it is.
Yeah.
You never know who you gonna help, what child you gonna help, what person, what adult you gonna help.
Yeah.
It's their way of manipulating the situation and making you feel as though you're wrong. And
You're the problem.
oh girl, I watched so many just trials and a lot of these babies out here, and it just breaks my soul to see, but it starts with you. If we know that there's a generational cycle that keeps going and going, I'm
Yeah.
breaking mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm breaking mine because I'm not. It's not. It stops with me.
Yeah.
It won't go to my daughters. It won't go to my grandkids. Whenever I have them, my grandkids, kids, and generations down the line, it won't. It won't. It has to stop. And it starts with building that foundation. I'm not religious, but I do love God and I am spiritual. And when you put God into the forefront, he'll start healing you from the inside out. I don't care about being
Mhm.
on the outside in. He'll heal you from the inside out. Get
Yeah,
free from that, because that's a spirit. It's a
yeah,
spirit.
yeah. And as you're healing and evolving, when it comes to like relationships, your interaction with other men, dating,
Yeah.
even in your first marriage, if you look back now and say like, has your definition of trust and
Mm.
love, I mean, has that evolved over the time, or what does that mean to you now?
With my marriage, I'm divorced now, but with my ex-husband, I will say I'll take accountability and say I did a lot that I shouldn't have done. And what I mean by that is the treatment of him. You know, the way I spoke to him in some instances, the way he touched me in some instances. I think I took a lot of my trauma out on
Mhm.
him. Don't kiss me this way, don't touch me this way. And that happened for years. I couldn't really be who I could be to my husband, for my husband, because of what someone else did to me, as a child. Let me say that.
Yeah,
But if I could do it all over again with my ex-husband, not saying, he's trying to,
right.
but
She
I
ain't
I
saying-
would I would have treated him in certain situations differently. I could have handled that better had I been a healed woman. I'm not the same. I got married at 19. I'm 43. I'm not the same
Yeah,
woman I was at 19 that I
yeah,
am at 43. You live and you learn. But he was a great person. He stood by my side, and listen, when he did meet this guy,
yeah,
oh my God, like all hell broke loose. Do you hear me, Cherie? All hell broke loose. To where my mom, this was before cell phones came out, y'all. Like, so where we had them, but we had the little Nokias. You got to
yeah.
pull up the antenna. So we didn't have cell phones like that. We had our little pagers and stuff. But when I got home, I remember he had my daughter in his arms when we got to the graduation, right?
He being,
The guy who essayed my mom's boyfriend.
mm,
He had Bree, holding Bree, and my husband at the time, he went and he snatched Bree out of his hand, and he was like, "Don't you ever,
yeah,
ever don't you ever put your hands on my daughter." Holding her. My mom was so like, this is all in the middle of graduation, like, like my sister's graduation. She was
nobody
like, "Don't
can.
ever touch my daughter. Don't ever hold my daughter." And my mom was so upset when I got home. You usually leave the voicemail messages. I had my little thing going off. It's lighting up. My phone lighting up. My cordless phone lighting up.
Voicemail.
I'm like, I got a message. Girl, I opened the message and my mom was, she let me have it, honey. She was like, "Don't you ever da 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 da, you and your husband," and it was just craziness. But we fell out, but then, we rekindled. Remember, I told you on the show,
Yeah, I want
back.
to get to that part before we close because you said something. Well, for both him and your mom. Your mom was on her deathbed. You talked about it on the show,
Mhm.
and you went to get him to see your mom
Yeah, yeah,
before, even though she turned around. In that moment, you went and got him to see her,
yeah,
and when your mom came back, with God
yeah.
graced her, she said, "What was that she said to you?"
She said, so my mom went into a coma, and the doctor was giving her days to live. So everybody had to gather, the family. So um my family thought it would be helpful and kind to go get him and bring him to see her, because we thought that it was going to be his final day. So I went to get him with my mom's older sister.
Yeah,
So we went out, and my mom's older sister doesn't drive. So I drove, and we went and picked him up. And so he spent time at the hospital with our family, and he saw my mom. And God really, he just it was like a miracle, Cherie. I don't even, I know God is real. but she ended up coming to, like, and she started healing. She had to learn how to walk again. She had to do a whole lot of things, talk again, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when she found out that I went and got him, her words were, well, why would she go get him if she say he did all this stuff to her? That don't make sense, so that pissed me off. And I was just like, you know what? You can't be nice to people. You just can't be nice to people. So she and I had words with that. And we just, through those years, we just didn't have a relationship. When I moved to Atlanta, I was not talking to my mom. I hadn't seen my mom in years. My older brother, his thing was, this happened. Y'all need to come together and get over this, but it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. And so when I moved to Atlanta, my older brother and I, we stopped speaking because I wasn't speaking to my mom when I left.
Oh, wow.
So she ended up, getting ill again. She had congestive heart failure, diabetes, and some other things. And so she became an amputee. So I came down. Of course, my brother called me. One of my brothers, my other brother, he called me and said, "Hey, mom ain't doing good. You need to come down here." So I went to Houston. And prior to that, we just kind of when I went home for Thanksgiving one year, which was in 2015, that's when we really started back
talking.
And she shared with me some things that had happened to her, and she was just apologetic, and she was like, "I'm sorry. I should have handled that better. I'm sorry that happened to you. It happened to me, but I should have protected you more." And so from there we build. And I will say, when my mom passed in 2017, the love, I saw my mom take her last breath from this earth, but the love was there, between she and I understood her hurt. I don't condone a lot of the things, but hurt people.
Yeah.
And some people that never really got that love, they don't really know how to genuinely love, But I love my mom. I miss my mom. If I could go back and have the good times and the bad times, not none of the other stuff with her, but I would.
So you were able to forgive her in that moment. You didn't have any other questions. You don't feel like there is more that you needed to get from her, that you regretted that you never was able to get. You feel like you got the closure that you needed based off the fact that your mom was hurt. And once you understood that it happened to her, she didn't know how to protect you. And is that where you just had to let it go?
I won't say I let it go. I more so just understood that she can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me? Oh, what is this? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear. Oh, that's strange. I can hear you.
I don't know. I can't hear.
You still can't hear me.
I can't hear.
This is strange. This is strange. Can you hear me, honey? I don't know. Can you hear? Okay, so Shannon, thank you, Shannon. Thank you so much. Shannon can hear. She said that they can hear both of us. So you can't hear me, but they can hear you. Okay, we can't hear each other. Thank y'all. They can hear you, Nicole. You can keep talking. Oh,
We can hear. Oh, okay, we can hear you both. Okay.
it was distorted on your end at first. So
I
thank you, Shannon. Okay, I don't know why she can't hear me. But Nicole, say something. I guess it doesn't matter because she can't hear me. Okay, guys, I'm not sure.
okay. Um. So, remind me of the question again. Um. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you,
Yeah,
Patrick.
I forgave her again because I feel like she could only love me to the degree of how she know to love.
Mm,
You know, her love may look different from what my love is for my daughters. My love is for, in a situation. So I feel like she loved me to a degree of her capacity of what her heart could do or what her mind could do. Um, but I forgive her. I do forgive her. And I miss her, you know.
wow. Did you forgive him?
Um, I forgive him. Um, you know, one of the things, he passed away from cancer, from some stomach cancer.
Mm,
And I was young. I was in my mid-20s when he did pass away. And when I found out that he did pass away,
mhm,
my reaction, it wasn't sorrow, it wasn't sadness. It was, my words were, I pray that he asks God for forgiveness for all that he has done,
wow.
because he didn't just essay me.
Mm,
He essayed one of my neighbors. Um, so
Jesus, my God.
I just prayed because I wouldn't wish hell on my worst enemy. I wouldn't, you
Mhm,
know. So I said, well, I hope he got his life together, and I hope he had a conversation with God
mhm,
and asked for forgiveness for all that he did. You know,
yeah,
um, that was my answer. So my ex-husband, he was we were married at the time, and so he was overseas
mhm,
working. And so he said, how do you feel about it? And I said, I just hope he prayed and asked God for forgiveness. You know, I really do. And he said, well, that's commendable, because I would expect you to say, I wish he go to hell, you know?
mhm,
But I don't know his upbringing. I don't know how he was brought up. I don't know. I never met, my mom. I don't think she ever met his parents, and he did. We didn't know any of his family. So I don't know. I just knew he was from New York, New Jersey area. We didn't know a lot about his family, so I don't know what he experienced in his life. Um, I just know I didn't want to carry the burden of what he put on me. So I'm going to forgive, not for him, but for me.
Wow.
That's
big. You can't hear me still, can you? That's big. I'm gonna text her, y'all, because we're gonna close this out. So she can answer this question. Because I don't know what is going on. Shannon said it's very noble to try to even consider someone's background who has caused.
Okay.
That's exactly
I'm
how
still
I feel.
having trouble hearing you, so I'm gonna pull up.
I just text her, but I feel the same way you do,
Okay.
Shannon.
Okay, let's see. Okay, you said what's one thing that brings you peace now, and what support has mattered most along the way. One thing that brings me peace is knowing that God is still with me. That brings me peace. Not only that, it's knowing that I am helping other people who have survived this. That's like that brings me peace. That's motivation to me. Support along the way. I will say I reached out to you a couple weeks ago when I got me and my brother was talking, and my biggest thing was really the support of my family, the support of my friends. My brother Chris, he doesn't really like to talk about it, the situation with my mom and with everything that happened. It's almost, I don't think he wants to shush me. I just think it's just uncomfortable for him. But we jumped on the topic, a couple weeks ago, and just the support of my siblings. My siblings have always kind of been there for me, especially my sister. She we don't speak a lot right now because of some things, but she's always had my back with this. She's always had my back with this. No matter what she does now in her life, I know that she was just like, what you want to do? you want, well, we can go kill him, girl. We can go poison him. We can go. I'm like, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. But I know she always had my back when it came to this aspect of it. And she always knew, even when the lies were out, like this is not true. He didn't do this, because that was a big thing in my family. It was like, no, he didn't do this. My mom would say, he didn't do that. He didn't do, and my sister was like, no, he was in our room. Yeah, he was in there, So she always knew, yeah, he did it.
He did it. Yeah.
I was there, he did it, So it's just the support of my friends and my family and my supporters, people who are going on the same, have experienced, and some have experienced far worse situations than mine, but it still happened to us. It happened to us, and having that support system, having the love shown from, everybody, is just, that's what keep me motivated to the point. I'm writing now, and I'm excited about my children's book. Coming out. I'm excited about that, and it's just, I'm doing things to help not just myself, but it's helping me in the process, but it's helping others, and it's being a light to somebody. Because people look at you and they see you on TV and they, oh, she must have this and she must, no, listen, God has been there. God has guided me. He's ordered my steps. He's been there. And Amen. I'm just thankful for the support system that I have, even with you, Chere. I tell you often, my friend has a great platform, and she's dope in real life. you know, and I thank you for allowing me to express myself and always be me, and always, you know, letting me be myself and expressing,
Absolutely.
you know, what has happened in my life. And I'm appreciative to you, and Say Something with Chere. Like, y'all are just,
Man,
you are
listen,
just a gem.
listen. You still can't hear me, can you? You still can't hear me, can you? Everybody else can hear me, but I want you to look at the screen, read the screen.
I don't see the question. Let's see. It's a big deal when you find the courage to speak out.
I don't know why this
Okay.
mic is hating on me today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Shannon. I agree. Definitely. Thank you so much for being on the live. And it is a big deal. You know, I tell people all the time, talk, say something. You know, this conversation is so taboo, and everybody don't want, you know, people don't want it. It's sensitive. It's a sensitive subject, but when
Very.
you get the courage to talk about it, you get free, and you help people along the way. And that's my goal, is to help these babies.
And you have a book coming out, and you have a nonprofit. You can't hear me. But just hold your mute 1 second. I don't know what's going on with my mic, you guys, but for you, those of you who are still here, thank you for sticking around. Thank you so much for your input and for commenting and sharing. Shannon, thank you so much. Tell Nicole to hold on 1 second. The link to this episode is actually on the Facebook comment that I just posted. Is in the comments. I put the entire link. But I just wanted to say thank you guys. Thank you so much, Nicole, for sharing your story with the people. And Nicole has a book coming out for children. She also has a nonprofit that she is actually gearing up right now. Also, that will be launching the top of the year. I'm grateful for her to tell her story on Say Something with Chere. And if you have a story that you are ready to share, DM me or email me at info@saysomethingtv.com. Send me a message, let me know, and we'll talk about it. We'll get the team together and get you on the show, possibly. Say Something is going on tour next year, so I'll be headed to first stop Toledo. So I'm looking forward to hearing more stories next year and actually sharing my own story. There's a powerful story behind the mic that I can't wait to share. So if you are, before I end this live, if you are someone who is dealing with any type of abuse, be it sexual, physical, emotional, spiritual, I encourage you. I should have the numbers up, but I don't. Please get some help. Please find the help. On the last post that I just posted before this live, there will be resources. Please go click the link. And also feel free to reach out to Nicole. And make sure y'all support her on Tyler Perry's Zatima. She is the doctor on there, and she is also on BMF. I'll see you guys next Sunday. I'm back every Sunday with Say Something with Chere series. We're going to bring a guest from the show from past seasons to talk about their episodes. All right. Thank you guys so much.